Intense interview with media personalities of Burkina Faso. President Ibrahim Traore showed that he is still on his word of fighting fearlessly against destablizers of Burkina Faso. No fear, no shaking. The captain showed that the country is in the hands of its true African owners, not just destroyers whose aim is to attain what they want at the expense of the suffering citizens. Ever since President Ibrahim Traore's rise into power in September 2022, there has been a silent war that many couldn't even imagine was even worse than the destabilizers themselves. The war of media propaganda.
You know, there are certain African leaders that you don't touch, not because they're untouchable, but because they're covered by the masses. The masses love them, they respect them, and they honor the duty that they've bestowed upon them. And this is exactly what is happening with Burkina Faso's leader, Ibrahim Traore. The BBC recently tried to run a headline that was a little bit controversial. I'm sure it was just wordplay and trying to get a headline out of nothing. And when I tell you Africans came to the defense of Burkina Faso's leader, they came out in their large numbers. Let me just give you a teaser of this headline. It reads, "Gun-wearing leader sparks attention at Ghana's inauguration." When you read this headline, irrespective of what is in the body, it almost comes off as if people were scared and he wasn't supposed to be wearing this gun and he really broke protocol. But when you watch the inauguration, it tells a completely different story.
Ever since President Ibrahim Traore's rise into power, the Western media has been saying it all, that the country has not yielded positive results at all. Yet what we see on the ground is different.
A silent revolution is carving its way through concrete and dust. It's not a towering skyscraper or a grand bridge. It's a deep, meticulously engineered canal, a drainage infrastructure project of profound national importance. Launched as part of Traore's broader Faso Embo initiative, Let's Build Together, this canal seeks to redefine how cities across the nation handle rainwater, how citizens interact with their environment, and how previously neglected districts can become thriving centers of life, commerce, and identity.
New weapons coming in from all corners of the world. From Russia to China then. To Turkey, the country has managed to look into the eyes of militant groups directly without fear. If they say that the situation is worse than before, why, the captain said that right now every soldier is at least equipped with necessary weapons, a thing that wasn't usual in the army. How could even a soldier be at the front without a single weapon in his arms? That was sad. At least now, the army is equipped with various weapons with the necessary technology to effectively execute operations. The captain summoning a meeting with local media personalities wasn't a joke. He knows well that the media needs to clarify the public on what is exactly going on in the country. The Western media is full of hate, calling the captain a junta who is using the local media to spread false achievements, a thing that is just rising temper among Africans and well-wishers of true sovereignty. The captain saying that the soldiers are ready to fight and give their all at the front without the need for Western assistance is the wish they truly need, isn't just mere words. They feel they are now organized than never before. President Ibrahim Traore is immensely spearheading the spirit of Pan-Africanism among the Burkinabe, who have so far managed to show that they are willing to build their country, brick by brick. The captain is not only theoretically sure that the country is moving forward, but also practically showing it. The milestone of 3 years in power hasn't been an easy one. Being full of coup attempts against the captain, plus the media propaganda that the Western media has been spreading about Burkina Faso, the captain has seen many things. President Ibrahim Traore said that is more than ready to take on what the country started on under his rule without fear of the destabilizers. He is sure that the citizens are responsible for taking on what their country wishes to do, without the need to be showed how to manage their country.
Burkina Faso, a land often associated with its dusty red roads and the pervasive image of underdevelopment, is currently the epicenter of a quiet yet profoundly powerful revolution. This is not a revolution of arms, but of spirit, not a top-down mandate, but a sweeping, nationwide mobilization from the capital of Ouagadougou to the most remote and unassuming villages. The era of passive waiting, of idle hope for external salvation, or of reliance on distant foreign aid is unequivocally over.
President Ibrahim Traore is spearheading a revolution that isn't only centered around military, but also including economic transformation. What the captain has accomplished in 3 years is even greater than what the previous puppet leaders never managed to accomplish. Burkina Faso is now free to work with anyone as long as it is for the reason of mutual benefit. The country does no longer need to first consult the West on whom to work with. When you look at how confident President Ibrahim Traore was while being interviewed by media personalities, you actually know that he is confident with what is ongoing in the country no matter what the Western media is saying. According to a news article, President Ibrahim Traore's rise into power coincides with changing public attitudes toward military governance, as evidenced by polling data indicating 66% of Burkinabe now accept military rule, a substantial increase from the 24% recorded in 2012. After a series of suffering, the countrymen now know the true definition of democracy, which isn't the one the colonial masters presented through the so-called election. Since taking over the office, President Ibrahim Traore has embarked on an ambitious agenda aimed at improving healthcare, boosting agricultural productivity, and fostering economic growth. His leadership style and policy decisions have set Burkina Faso on a path that some observers are calling an African revolution, according to a news article. While addressing media personalities, the captain was concerned about how the local media is so concerned about his life being in danger, without putting focus on the immense transformation ongoing in the country. A soldier is prepared to take on whatever comes his or her way. There is no need to fear what can come against him or her, the captain clarified the concerned journalists. The most important issue is to utilize the opportunities available in order to get the country out of grief, as President Traore highlighted. What was he meaning in this? The journalists were concerned about the issue of keeping the West aside, yet it is known for being the longtime provider for the continent. But which kind of assistance? The one that comes with exploitation. New revolutionists and Africans at large no longer want chaos of political games. They want to work together to create a fresh continent not based on conflicts and hunger. It is clear that something new is happening in Africa, as has been recognized by many observers, according to certain sources. According to an article by Socialist Nation, Africa is home to an estimated 30% of the world's mineral wealth, including 90% of its chromium and platinum, crucial to the green energy transition. Another such mineral is cobalt, of which 70% of the world's supply is produced in the Democratic Republic of Congo. By the end of the century, Africa could also account for a fifth of the world's lithium supply. The source clarifies. The journey by these revolutionists for this case. President Ibrahim Traore may seem intense, but they are more than ready to take on what the continent wished long after gaining independence. President Ibrahim Traore's bold moves are not only creating a country free from conflict, but also creating much more space for Burkina Faso's economy to take on a surge like never before. The most colorful initiative ever taken by the country ever since the 80s is the Faso Mabo initiative that has seen the country's citizens working collectively to pave thousands of kilometers of roads. Ever since Burkina Faso's president, Captain Ibrahim Traore's reinforcement of the country's push for national resilience with the handover of 764 vehicles and heavy equipment to local brigades under the Faso Mabo presidential initiative. Many Burkinabe have joined the wave.
Voulu par le chef de l'État, son Excellence le capitaine Ibrahim Traore, et qui vise à moderniser assez rapidement nos villes à travers la conduite autonome de travaux de génie civil, de bitumage des routes.
From mothers to fathers, then to the young generation. There has been positivity throughout the country's urban areas exhibited through assisting engineers and technicians to transform roads to new level. These new achievements can't be just trashed by Western propaganda by saying that there isn't anything going on in the country. That is now showing oneness among citizens. President Ibrahim Traore's bold response to the media personalities didn't just declare a bragging soldier who may know that he is now in charge of a country, but a one who saw enough about the unpredictable behavior of the West. The captain clearly knows that this is a one-way mission that needs clarity, not fooling around while generations and generations of the Burkinabe drown into suffering. It's over 50 years since gaining independence under the supervision of France, but not much positive results. The countrymen and women think it is time to put matters into their hands. Sitting and waiting for the West's approval isn't now the solution, but collaborative effort is becoming the song sang by the Burkinabe.
Faso